They fired the black executive in the middle of a boardroom meeting, smirking, mocking his fit, and calling security to escort him out. What they didn't know was that the meeting was live. The countdown had already started, and every insult was being documented. Because within hours, a single legal move would freeze their accounts, crash the stock, and expose a secret investigation that had been building for months. The man they tried to erase wasn't leaving quietly. He was about to shut the entire company down. The boardroom fell quiet the moment Evan Cross finished speaking. "You're not qualified for this role," he said, leaning back in his chair, confident, casual, final. "And frankly, we're done here." Around the long table, directors avoided eye contact. Screens glowed with financial charts no one was reading anymore. At the far end, Marcus Reed sat still, hands folded, expression unreadable. He did not argue. He did not defend himself. He simply listened. Evan mistook that silence for defeat. "This company needs leadership that fits our culture," Evan continued, enjoying the sound of his own authority. "Not experiments." A few board members shifted. One cleared his throat. No one spoke up. Marcus glanced at the digital clock mounted on the wall. 2:18 p.m. He nodded once, almost to himself. "Understood," he said calmly. The calm unsettled Evan more than anger would have. He stood. "Security will escort you out." The words landed heavy, final, public. At the far corner of the room, an intern froze at her laptop, eyes wide. She had been tasked with documenting the meeting for internal records. What she didn't realize, what no one realized yet, was that the session was broadcasting live on the company's public investor channel. The viewer count climbed quietly. 50, 100, 200. Marcus rose slowly, straightening his posture. "Before I go," he said, voice even, "may I ask one question?" Evan scoffed. "This meeting is over." "I know," Marcus replied. "That's why timing matters." A murmur rippled across the table. Evan waved toward the door. "Let's move this along." Two security officers stepped inside. Both hesitated when Marcus looked at them. "Good afternoon," Marcus said warmly. "You're just doing your job." The guards exchanged a glance. Something about his composure felt wrong. Not panicked, not desperate, prepared. The viewer count passed 1,000. One board member checked her phone and frowned. Another started typing furiously. Evan noticed the shift. "What's going on?" The intern's voice cracked. "Sir, the meeting is live." Silence slammed into the room. "What?" Evan snapped. It's streaming," she said. Public." Phones buzzed all at once. Notifications, messages, alerts. Marcus checked his watch again. 27 minutes, he said quietly. Evan's confidence wavered. "Turn it off, now." "I can't," the intern whispered. "Admin controls are locked." The viewer count surged. Comments began pouring in. Screenshots were already circulating. Marcus turned back to the table. "Since this is public, let's be precise." Evan's face flushed. "You think this is some kind of game?" "No," Marcus replied. "This is accountability." One director leaned forward. "Marcus, what exactly are you implying?" Marcus reached into his portfolio and placed a thin folder on the table. He didn't open it yet. "For the past 16 months, he said, I've been retained by institutional investors to review this company's financial and hiring practices." Evan laughed, sharp and nervous. "You're bluffing." Marcus met his eyes. "I'm documenting." The room tightened. "The discriminatory language you just used," Marcus continued, "the removal request, the coded references to culture, all of it is evidence." Evan stepped closer. "You don't have any authority here." Marcus smiled faintly. "Actually, I do." Phones buzzed again. A director gasped softly as she refreshed her screen. "Our stock just dropped 9%, she said. What? Evans snapped. Trading volume just spiked, another added. This is everywhere. Marcus opened the folder. Inside were filings. Stamped, dated, official. Formal complaints were submitted this morning, Marcus said. Securities violations, civil rights breaches, federal review. The words hit like a controlled detonation. Evans' voice cracked. That's impossible. Check the docket, Marcus replied. Case numbers are public. One director stood abruptly. Evan, we need legal. You needed legal months ago, Marcus said calmly. The security officer stepped back without being asked. Marcus continued. I should also disclose that through multiple entities I hold a significant voting stake, enough to trigger emergency governance provisions. The room spun. That's not possible, Evan whispered. It is, Marcus replied, and it's documented. Outside the glass walls, movement caught their attention. News vans were pulling up below. The intern stared at the screen. Viewers just crossed 10,000. Evan's authority collapsed in real time. His voice rose, frantic. You can't do this. I didn't, Marcus said. You did. Publicly. One board member buried her face in her hands. Effective immediately, Marcus continued. I'm recommending leadership suspension pending federal review. Evan lunged forward. You don't get to decide. A security officer gently blocked him. Sir, please step back. Evan froze. You work for me. The guard shook his head. We work for the company. Marcus gathered his documents. The investigation will continue with or without cooperation. That choice is yours. The clock read 2:47 p.m. Outside, sirens wailed faintly. Evan's shoulders sagged. The room smelled like panic. Marcus paused at the door and looked back once. This didn't have to happen, he said, but silence always protects the wrong people. He left without another word. By market close, executives resigned. By evening, federal agencies confirmed investigations. By morning, the company's collapse was front-page news. And the clip of a man fired mid-meeting who never raised his voice played everywhere. Not because he shouted, but because he was ready.